Hello, everyone. Welcome back on the drive. So, keeping this episode also short, just because life's been busy since the change of the new year and the last time I recorded the episode. It's just hard, kind of being a single car household. So when I'm not at work, uh, still have to drive around and make sure we meet appointments. My wife needs to get anywhere and do anything. And she likes to just have me tag along and drive her around, be her little chauffeur. So haven't had much of a chance to actually sit down and record that, and my commute was cut super short for about 2 weeks. So it's not like I just didn't have a chance, didn't have time. Like I went from like an hour commute to about quite literally about 5 to 8 minutes, 8 minutes with heavy traffic, and so like that's not really enough time to just plug in, give a nice full episode, just enough time to give some updates. So I'm actually recording this as of the day it's coming out. Is 3:47 my time right now. That's Central Time Zone, and so far just otherwise like from everything that's been keeping me busy. Now that we're kind of getting back into the full swing of things after the holidays, and trying to make sure we finish out the school year with my kids on a good note. I mean, everything's just been smooth. I've still been keeping up with my 366 Days of Horror, where for a challenge, I decided to do a horror movie a day for this whole year since it is a leap year. I did it 4 years ago on the last leap year um, when it was, I decided to do one movie a day. So it's 366 days of movies. And it started out rough when I did that one. Probably around closer to March, April, it got a lot easier. I was able to just get into the flow. I was able to set up how like what days on certain like what movies on certain days, mainly like holidays, I wanted to watch, and so that was just like giving me set goals. Like, okay, I got to fill in like this much gap between this holiday and this holiday, uh, and then I think the whole month of March I did Marvel movies because it was a Marvelous March, is what I called it, to kind of get my kids a little bit involved into it. Just because my daughter wanted to spam the whole Infinity Saga, and timing it out, it left about, I want to say, 4 days, 5 days extra. Um, if we're doing all the Infinity Saga movies. And so we were able to do the two Deadpool movies, Blade, and I was able to do Spring Breakers, which is not a Marvel movie, but it's because of spring break time for when they're out of school. So I'm trying to do that with the horror movies. I did plan ahead a little bit in advance. Do got like a good outline. It's not as daunting and it's not as tough right now as it was with just the regular movies, just because I've already done it before. Even though now I'm just strictly limiting myself to horror. I have signed up for Shudder about a few months ago to just kind of get into the groove of like certain horror movies I kept hearing about on some of the podcasts that I listen to that are horror movie based. So if I ever wanted to watch them, I could actually just sit down and watch them. And sign up for Horror Pack. Don't know when the hell I'll be getting my first box with them, but it's a subscription service where they send you four Blu-rays in the mail, and they're horror movie Blu-rays, and one of them is guaranteed like a horror pack special edition. Like you're not gonna find it anywhere else, from what I've come to understand from a few people who've done reviews and unboxings for their horror pack. So kind of excited about that, just to give me more movies so feed off of and just go through. I know streaming services are always the best route to go. I have a decent uh, physical collection of movies, mainly just horror. But as far as my actual physical collection for all my movies, I would say it's pretty good. The horror section is a little decent. It takes up like two shelves out of the whole. bookshelf that I use to hold my movies. And so, like, I have no issues if I need to do physical media over streaming. And so, right now, some of them I am actually trying to plan ahead, see if I need to find a copy or buy a copy of certain movies just so I can watch it because they aren't on streaming right now. The main one I'm looking for and looking at it being Sinister and Sinister 2. I kind of want to do Sinister 2 for Mother's Day and maybe Sinister 1 for Father's Day. Plans may change. I may do Sinister 1 on the Saturday before Mother's Day and then Sinister 2 on Mother's Day. For Martin Luther King Day, I wanted to watch Us. I'm not really fond of that movie. I only seen it once. It's been a couple of years, so I'm hoping on the second watch through, maybe I'll see it in a different way, or it'll hit differently with me, and I'll like it a little bit more. On the streaming on Amazon Prime, I'm on the fence about buying it just to stream it, just in case they take it down between. They probably won't between now and Monday, but just trying to make sure like I keep all that up to date and all that coming along, and then keeping a list too of titles I've heard on certain podcasts to where I can be like, I have a chance to actually watch this now, and it's on Tubi, it's on Shudder, it's on Hulu, because all of them have their own like exclusive horror movies that they release on their platforms. Netflix kind of does sometimes too, but Netflix just has like a broader release on their movies. Hulu kind of does lean into horror a little more, just because, as everyone knows, horror is cheap to make, and if you can do it real well, it gets extremely profitable. And then also, this is just an excuse for me to buy certain movies that I've been wanting to watch that are currently out on DVD and Blu-ray. Should probably just say Blu-ray because I think DVD is getting phased out right now. But the main one being Talk to Me, which I will be watching tonight with my kids because they want to watch it. And I just heard another episode of Best of 2023 where that was the average number one movie of the year for the people that were involved on the podcast. And so like got me more excited now to just watch it. And I still glad that even though I have like a work schedule that's very, very dumb because I'm closing a lot. So leave the house late, get to work and or leave work late and then get home super late just because of the hour commute. But it's like a 90-minute movie, and that's usually what I like the most about the horror movies. And I'm glad I chose to do horror, is because I can just pick up an 80s movie, a 90s movie, a 70s movie, and they're all under like the 2 hour mark. Most of them are going to be around like 75 minutes to 90 minutes. Just a quick overview of what I watched for the week. I did finally jump into Hell House LLC. Hell House LLC. Because I've been hearing that franchise tossed around or mentioned quite a bit because they did have a new entry into the franchise that came out this year, and they were on Shudder, which was better because I probably couldn't stand watching it with commercials on Tubi, and I was pleasantly surprised at how much I love those movies. The first one definitely a solid, and I'm gonna find a copy of that at some point and buy it. If they don't have a collection pack or whatnot available, but I at least want the first one because the first one to me was just gold. Like that was S tier quality. And I usually don't like found footage movies, which I'll get into like the next episode I'm gonna record on my drive back home today. So. And then I just watched a few other like old school movies, like Lucio Fulci's The House by the Cemetery. I believe I've watched that one before. It's kind of hard to tell just because a lot of Fulci's movies sometimes seem like the same elements and the same themes, just repackaged in like characters and scenarios and events. But they usually all have like the same premise and some of the same props. And so I can't remember if it was that one or Dead Alive that I'm maybe getting confused with. Either way, it was a kind of a solid movie. I did agree with everyone that Bob, the little kid, was just an annoying little piece of shit. But that was the way the character was written. The boy played it real well, but I kind of get what he was going for. Bob was mainly like the catalyst of everything, and he had to be central to everything. So he had to act out and be that way and push everything forward. Not necessarily help everything move forward, but push everything forward. Uh, but yeah, a big shout out to Shudder for being able to just recommend some solid horror movies and have a good collection available to stream. So I am currently just parked out at work right now. I appreciate the 3 listens I've gotten on these latest episodes. I don't know if it's just one singular person or just 3 random people that just happen to come across the show. Thank you all very much. Especially right now during this weird transition time that always happens around this time of year for me and my family. So I will be recording an episode tonight. That will be on next week's release, and then on my next, I think the weekend when I work, this weekend when I work, I'll be recording some more just because now I actually have the commute. I'll have the time. I'll have the chance to just get everything out. I have been building up a list of talking points on what I want to do on the drives for certain episodes, and then also do a few movie reviews. I want to review all of Hell House LLC, and then I do want to review like Talk to Me and a few of the other horror movies that I am excited about, and a few franchises that I'm excited about talking about, and not just horror movies and film, but also in gaming as well. Just rediscovering a few things and wanting to get my thoughts out, which again I wouldn't have been able to do unless I just did a show on my own. So thanks for the ride along, guys. I will see you all next week. Appreciate all the listens. I'm maybe getting a Patreon up just to, if anyone wants to help support, just to kind of, maybe cover gas, cover some breakfast for when I am driving and going to work. I ain't looking to get rich off of this. I ain't looking to do this full time. Right now, my job pays pretty well. I am kind of happy with it. So I'm not looking to replace it, and I'm not looking to get big and rich off of this podcast. But appreciate it all just the same. Just the fact that there's people that are wanting to give me a listen, I am very appreciative and humbled by that. So until next week, y'all, I will catch y'all on another drive, and thanks for the ride along.